there is an attempt to co-opt the African identity. Yeah? If I didn't run out of time, I would have gone into this. Yeah? So, knowing the organizational infrastructure that African identity provides us through our black nationalist Pan-Africanist movements, the idea now is to co-opt the African identity through various means to make it, the African identity, work in the interests of Western imperialism. And that requires the embracing of African cultural forms within the Western framework. For example, the first Nigerian to win a Grammy. Yeah? Big up Thames, Melova, for all kinds of different reasons. Yeah? However, when we see what's taking place, yeah, with how they're bringing African music and culture into the popular culture sphere, know that this is what you call a soft power. Yes? That because we're so busy fighting for recognition, when we get some shine on the Western pop market billboard, we feel like we've made it. Does that make sense? Yeah? Then there's the statement, which is supposed to be a scientific statement, that humanity is African. All human beings are African. Yes? All human beings. And this is scientifically based upon the fact that humanity was first developed in Africa. That's a fact. But the African identity, does that make sense? Yeah. There is a difference. So for example, there's a difference between the statement, humanity began in Africa, and all human beings are African. Yeah. There is a difference between those two statements, but the agenda is political. Yeah? Yeah? So the African identity in its revolutionary incarnation is countercultural to Western imperialism. They understand that, therefore they have to co-opt it through General Michael Langley. Yeah, black man head of AFRICOM. Yes? Through the US-Africa Summit. Come, we'll do some deals with you. Bring it into the capitalist global economy. Yeah? All kinds of... So we have a greater challenge than even Omar and Malcolm X did. Because they weren't doing that then. Then, we were still clear, they thought Africans were savage and barbaric and nothing good for them. Yeah? Now, then what embrace we. Right? The last thing I'll say on this, which I would have went into, was whilst they're doing that, making humanity African, they're steadily creating all kinds of divisions among African people. Yeah. The most recent one, as it relates to Britain, is the distinction within census data between black African and black Caribbean. It's very dangerous. One time we were African Caribbean people over here, officially. It gave us a framework, or we use it as a framework to align the interests of Africans from the continent and Africans with the diaspora in Britain. Now them tell we, Africans, black Africans are doing better than black Caribbeans, and then them give we a good report, yeah, the Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities report, yeah, to establish, yes, the superior culture and outcomes of black Africans versus black Caribbeans.
Yeah, and black Africans and black Caribbeans are doing better than white working class.
That white working class boys, yeah, in education, not in employment, but in education. So all kinds of security we've got. But the point I'm making is that the idea that even in the country, I'm one of in the aims and objectives, they say that in order to enslave us, they had to keep our thinking locked to the shores of the United States of America. Yeah. Replace the United States of America with the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Yeah? But even within the context of the United Kingdom of Great Britain now, Africans should not see our interests as aligned. Why? Because they pathologize Caribbean culture relative to a supposedly non-pathological African culture that is brought by immigrants largely from Nigeria, who have a class status that allows them a certain level of social mobility in the country. Is everybody following me? Yeah? So that's the trick. To separate the interests of Africans whilst bringing humanity under the African banner. This is the challenge of African power. 10 down warriors.
Ten down warriors.